You might have heard this elsewhere, but I recently left my job, and at the moment, Patreon subscriptions and Pick of the Week donations are my only source of income. If you want to support my work and enable me to eat and pay my rent, you can sign up to my Patreon at patreon.com/JessMatthewsProductions. Starting with my next video, patrons on the $6 tier will get 24-hour early access to every video that I make. You can also support me by commissioning a single episode Pick of the Week review. Just send $50, the episode and show you want me to cover, and the name you want me to credit you as to paypal.me/HulkyD. Or send a request to hulkyd@gmail.com. There's no restriction on what you can request, so your donation would be incredibly helpful. Thank you for your support. So I got the idea of listening to and ranking every single Power Rangers theme song using science. I got as far as Ninja Steel on a live stream, which is pretty far, but it turns out that Hasbro doesn't really like it when you stream their themes in their entirety. So I'm going to do this slightly more lavishly produced video explaining my ranking of each video. I fully expect you to be screaming at the screen at several points here. So without further ado, here is the definitive, objective, scientific ranking of every officially used Power Rangers main theme. I'm Casey Rhodes, the Red Jungle Fury Ranger, and you're watching Disney Channel. Yeah, so that's the exact vibe I got from this. Jungle Fury was the next to last Disney season, and when it came out in 2008, Radio Disney and Hannah Montana were these huge pop culture juggernauts. I can't help but think that Disney gave composers Gabriel Moses, Lee Roberts, and John Ehrlich a clear mandate. Make us a theme that sounds at home on Radio Disney. And as a result, we got this really bland power pop number. A lot of Power Ranger themes can come across as dated. It's a 90s kids show, but in an enjoyable, entertaining sense. This felt dated for the time. Like, it feels like it came out with Blink-182, and this is 7 or 8 years later. While Jungle Fury is held in decent esteem today, this really does symbolize when Disney was really at its wit's end with the franchise. This one's also not good. While Disney experimenting with the style of the theme music was actually a good idea, you're going to get failures when you do this, and this is a failure. It's probably even more dated than the Jungle Fury theme. Maybe not at the time, but this feels like a leftover piece of bubblegum 2000s pop. Unlike almost everything else on the list, this does not feel like a Power Rangers theme. It feels like it was commissioned for a Disney Channel show. And not surprisingly, co-writer Marco Marangianelli was a producer for The Cheetah Girls, Hilary Duff, and Miley Cyrus, all Disney Channel pop starlings. Co-writer Chaka Blackman composed Christina Aguilera's Come On Over, All I Want Is You, and a reworked techno version of 70s Disney disco classic, Macho Duck. So I'm trying not to rank the concept themes that didn't get used. There's a couple floating around out there. But all signs point to this piece of music actually being the intended theme for Wild Force. It was used at the conclusion of the Time Force finale, and it was used in promos aired on Fox Kids. But Wild Force was actually the first season produced under Disney management after their buyout of Fox Family and Saban Entertainment. Rumors indicate that Saban produced this on the way out as a way to get royalties for a Wild Force theme even if it didn't get used on the actual show. And well, this has a distinct width of knock out something quick before we all file for unemployment, because this is pretty weak. Considering this season had a Jungle Beast theme, you'd expect this one to be fierce, wild, and it's just not. This is very toothless. The actual Wild Force theme, as we'll see, is much better. Dino Fury's theme is hampered by a couple of things out of its control. For one, when Heinz Saban brought the franchise back from Disney, the famous Go-Go Power Rangers theme returned with him. Every season from Samurai to Dino Fury used it in some way. That's not bad in and of itself, but starting with Beast Morphers, the intros were shortened to a mere 30 seconds. You now had this mandate to use Go-Go Power Rangers, and you had a strict time restriction, both of which composer Bert Selling clearly struggles with here. All we really get is a dubstep rendition of Go-Go Power Rangers and a couple added lyrics at the end. Now, there is some potential here. This does sound pretty decent, and Selling would go on to realize that potential later on, but it really feels like the inclusion of Go-Go Power Rangers sets this back significantly. Turbo gets a bad rap for a lot of reasons. I think the series is better than many consider it to be, but the theme isn't great. I really do like the whoa that this theme has. I like the subtle inclusion of the 4 notes of Go-Go Power Rangers, but I think the lyrics hurt this. They're simplistic, they feel a little meaningless, and the whole song feels repetitive. And while the actual TV version of this theme is limited to 30 seconds thanks to a short-lived Fox Kids mandate, I don't think it's a length problem. There is an extended version made for the Turbo movie, and that also felt pretty rough to me. I didn't feel right ranking either of these one above the other because it's really the same theme. They're virtually identical save for like one additional verse at the start and end of the Megaforce theme. And they're both virtually identical covers of the iconic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme music. I think the reorchestration is a little too glossy for my liking. Honestly, I think it's the singer. He doesn't have the power of some of the more successful renditions of Go-Go Power Rangers. I don't think this is the fault of composer Noam Kaniel, a longtime associate of Heinz Saban who worked on many of Saban's classic Deke themes and on Mighty Morphin Season 1. The newly formed Saban Brands was leaning hard on MMPR nostalgia, but this does pale compared both to the more original compositions that preceded it and what later seasons demonstrated that Noam Kaniel could do. Okay, put down the pitchforks. Mighty Morphin is the foundation for the Power Rangers sound as we know it. The original Go-Go Power Rangers theme is one of the most iconic pieces of music in television history. The way the Season 1 intro sets up the entire franchise is pure perfection. But the thing about foundations is that you can build on them. There are several themes coming up that use Go-Go Power Rangers as its base, including some direct rearrangements, and I think all of them are better in some way. That doesn't mean Mighty Morphin's theme is bad, it just means that they've done a lot better as we go along. It's a good start, but it's just a start. For justice we fight, with peace, Morphin light, together we rise. This is the first of the modern entries that got hurt by the reduction to 30-second theme songs, but at least Noam Kaniel tries his hardest to make something happen. Like Dino Fury, this has a techno feel, but it's a little smarter in realizing what they can and can't do with the 30-second time limit. And I have no doubt that if Noam Kail had the full 60 seconds, this would be much higher on our list. As it is, it just barely misses out on being something great. Okay, this is also going to be another one that you will hate me for. This one is beloved by many, and I don't doubt that its really great production values and soaring performance of Go-Go Power Rangers is a series highlight. But Zeo is marked by this weird tension between a clear desire to recapture the popularity of Season 1 while also continuing in the more continuity-driven direction of the excellent Season 3. It takes steps in the direction of being its own thing, only to fall back towards the familiar Go-Go Power Rangers at the end of the song. It's a great performance. The production values are outstanding, like I said, but it does pale in comparison to when they finally had the confidence to cut loose with more original compositions. As befitting a time travel season, this one has an incredibly frantic pace, and it also has some of the catchiest lyrics of any Power Ranger season. The instrumental break here is pretty sublime. It doesn't quite reach the higher echelon, hell, it might be a little too frantic for its own good, but I can't say that Time Force is a bad effort. It's a great, solid effort. Bert Selland takes his Dino Fury composition and reworks it to remove the Go-Go Power Rangers motif. After a decade of themes being saddled with it, this is honestly a massive breath of fresh air. Now the chorus belts out Morphin in outer space. Or is that boyfriends in outer space? I'm choosing to interpret it as boyfriends because it's super gay and I really approve.
Good versus evil, we got heroes on the scene. Power Rangers Overdrive is the #1 team.
Power Rangers' one and only foray into the world of hip-hop actually kinda pays off, because Lord help me, I didn't hate this. Credit to Transcenders, a composer collective whose work appeared on the Black Eyed Peas anthem Let's Get It Started. This one has a very lengthy rap section midway through, combined with a very catchy chorus. I do prefer the rock anthems the series is more known for. And honestly, if you absolutely 100% detest rap, you probably won't like this. But I thought it was really infectiously fun, and proved that Disney was right to experiment with the sound of the theme songs during its era. It's too bad that Operation Overdrive kinda sucks. Noam Kail's second attempt at a mostly original composition isn't as much of a smashing success as his first attempt, but it's not bad by any means. We're back to a traditional rock sound, and the opening verses are true earworms. I've had this in my head for a while, but I do feel like this is the point where the presence of Go-Go Power Rangers start to feel like a crutch instead of an enhancement to these themes. I feel like it's held back quite a bit. Power Rangers, Jeremy Sweet and Ian Nickus kick off the franchise's move to New Zealand with this energetic surf rock anthem. This is a departure in so many ways. It's the first one with an opening voiceover, for example. But it's also the first to realize that, hey, maybe we can tweak the sound a little bit. It's mostly a surf rock anthem with some oriental touches, and I think the two coexist pretty well. It definitely feels like a franchise that is starting to explore new territory. Power Rangers of the air, Power Rangers of the air, we stand together. After several seasons of tinkering with the sound of the theme, Disney entrusts Stephen Hampton and John Adair, composers of Disney Channel hits like Sweet Life on Deck and Jessie, to make the most Power Rangers-ass theme we've had in a while. And it totally works. After a brief voiceover introduction to the show's premise, the theme kicks in. And appropriately for both the show's title and its post-apocalyptic premise, it goes hard. It's a little shoutier than you usually get from a Power Rangers theme, and that, I think, makes it pretty distinctive. The first theme not to be credited to Haim Saban and Shuki Levy, the official Disney-commissioned Wild Horse theme is a bop. Leo Rosner, Paul Gordon, and Drew DeSantis are able to capture the tone that the Saban music department didn't get. A rollicking, fierce theme with some nice vocoded lyrics as highlights. This is just a great, hard-driving theme. A good way to send out the franchise's stay in Los Angeles with a bang. Okay, so this is my all-time favorite season, and I expected this to be higher. I've always had a soft spot for this theme, and I genuinely thought it could have gotten to number 1. As it is, it's very, very good, with its rock opera approach really signifying how this season took some big swings, and probably the most distinct Power Rangers theme to that point. But I also feel like that kind of holds it back. It's a great theme, but I think it does overreach in a specific way that Lost Galaxy often overreached. I like that it tries, but I feel like it falls just short of the more straight-ahead rockers that came immediately before and after. Still, you can't beat that epic pause, and that chorus is so good. Go, go, Power Rangers! After Mighty Morphin hit big, Saban commissioned a soundtrack album. This was where a lot of the great Ron Wasserman insert songs like Fight and 541 originated. It's also where an extended version of the Mighty Morphin theme debuted, with actual lyrics, harder instrumentation, and throatier vocals. Ron Wasserman revisited this version of the theme with his Power Rangers Redux album in 2012. And that version seems to be the basis for this one, seen in the 2023 Once and Always special. I like to think that this is what Wasserman intended the theme to sound like from the start. And while it's hurt by the 30-second length restriction, I honestly think this is the best unmodified TV version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers! I love big glam rock songs. I love hair metal. I love it so much. Put me in front of the Sirius XM Hair Nation channel and I'm going to listen to it for hours. So I guess it's no surprise that I ranked the Power Rangers Orchestra rendition of Go Go Power Rangers from the movie very high. This is a rendition of the extended theme introduced in Season 2, but Ron Wasserman's synthesized guitars and growling voices have given way to a pop metal arrangement overseen by members of Mr. Big and Guns N' Roses. I think it complements the theme song very well. Honestly, I think the only complaint I have is that they didn't use it for the TV show. The big, bold style is just so good here. After Lost Galaxy, we're back to more meat and potatoes Power Rangers. But falling back into your comfort zone has its advantages. Namely, this catchy theme with great drums and a slight bent towards a military march, as befitting for a series about a military-themed rescue unit. The lyrics are really catchy. The chorus is rousing. The instrumental break is probably the best of the entire series. It just soars. Lightspeed Rescue may be meat and potatoes Power Rangers, but it's damn good meat and potatoes. From the moment the countdown hits, you know you're getting the good stuff with this theme. Arguably the single catchiest theme in the entire franchise. In Space's theme, the first one not to include Go-Go Power Rangers, has the fitting tempo of a rocket. It creates the feel of a team fighting their ass off to save the day against impossible odds and somehow winning in the end. Even some of the cheesier flourishes somehow work. Look, they couldn't resist the "in space," and I'm glad they went for it. Special shout out to the rarely heard extended theme, which features my favorite verse in the entire franchise. Long live the Power Rangers. A fitting lyric for a series that ensured the franchise's longevity.
Power Rangers, SPD, Power Rangers to the rescue.
Ron Wasserman returns with this fantastic theme that's nearly perfect from the opening SPD emergency shout. The pacing on this one is just so frenetic. Wasserman has the best vocals he's done. It's just peak growl. And the drums on this one are fantastic. This is a clear example of his genius at work. This doesn't get as much credit as his beloved Mighty Morphin and X-Men themes, and honestly, it really should. It's just as good. It's an excellent composition that is just a complete and utter earworm.
There's a light in the distance. See them coming closer.
Bruce Lynch and EP Doug Sloan do a good job of composing a theme that seems enigmatic at first, but builds into an insanely rousing chorus as it closes. But while that's a hallmark of several themes here, what sets this apart and what makes it number 2 is that chunky guitar. It's just so satisfying on the ears, and it really does give this a pretty unique sound that stays with you for hours on end. It's the best theme of the Disney era.
Go, go, Power Rangers. Don't you ever stop. Go, go, Power Rangers.
Noam Kael cuts loose with this one after 2 seasons of direct rearrangements of the 1993 theme, and the results are nothing short of spectacular. Instead of straight-ahead rock, Dino Charge opts for an orchestral feel, with strings providing the bulk of the melody. The songwriting is the best of all Power Rangers themes, in my opinion, with some great lyrics like "There is only one chance to take the right stance. Hold tight, keep the power alive." While the Go-Go Power Rangers melody is retained, Kael takes a Zeo approach here, reworking it to serve as the grand finale. His general approach to the theme gives it a renewed energy. It sounds as fresh and exciting as the original MMPR theme did in 1993. It's an anthem of resilience of a franchise that went through so many evolutions, but was still going 21 years after its birth. So yeah, that's my list. You probably are looking and saying, what the hell is just smoking? So if you have any comments, leave them below. Also, if you like Fox Kids Club, Morphin Time, and all the stuff I do, please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and support me on Patreon, because this is my only thing for the time being, and eating food is good. Much recommend. I'll catch you all later.